The LightWorkers Handbook, Lesson 4. Greetings, dear one. I am Cryan of Magnetic Service. This is a safe place, and even before we start the teaching, I wish to announce that this is a safe place. Should you choose to open your heart this day, no negative thing will come attached to you. You sit with family, so let the energy of this place pour into you, so that you will be given a dispensation of understanding. For what we wish to do is complex. I've instructed my partner that this is to be transcribed and that these 2 days together will encompass one teaching. This will be an advanced teaching for an advanced group given in front of lightworkers who are ready to hear these things. It is true that it will be core information, but it is advanced core information, for we are starting to create the series about the system and how it works. The most misunderstood attribute of God is how a human being works with spirit. This is the crux of frustration, and so often lightworkers feel stuck. They don't understand the communication system or what to do next. They truly don't even know who they are. There they sit waiting for something invisible from a place that they question. The system of God is like that, you know. The system is incompatible with you since you are in 3D. So here's what we wish to do. In this first session, which is this day, we wish to speak of the physics of the system, the confusion. We will explain what it is. In the next session tomorrow, we will explain how you work with the system and give examples. These, therefore, are 2 separate teachings that should be considered as one. The system of God. Complex it is. The system of God. Let us start at the beginning. According to those humans who keep track of these things, 85% or more of this planet belongs to some kind of belief system that searches for God. 85%. No matter where they are on the planet, they believe in God. It's in many different ways within many different organizations. It is overwhelming, isn't it? That there is indeed something more than yourself on this planet. So you might say that there is evidence that the entire planet, or most of it, is involved in the search for God in their own way. So right there, a big question is, well, why would you care? Are you in fear of God? No, humans do not search for God in fear. The human being wants to find what it's about. It's intuitive human behavior. As soon as a human is able to do so, they go on a search. Blessed is the human being who searches for God in their own way. Even if they find themselves in a building singing songs of worship with doctrines that are man-made, indeed, their art and their compassion is the search for God. Let there be no judgment of your brothers and sisters for this, for they have the love of God just like you. Then there is the rest of you. The ones who would find yourself in a place like this, an esoteric place, looking into yourself, saying, there has to be more than a doctrine. The thing that makes this difficult is that you are going on a journey outside of your dimensionality, outside of your reality, and your understanding in the comfort zone that is in your 3D. So the first questions you will ask are these. Who am I? Who am I in the scheme of the universe? What is it I'm supposed to do, and then how am I supposed to do it? Where do I start? These are valid questions, but each one of them is difficult. For the answers to them all is not the answer that you can discern with logic, but you want to. For you are 3-dimensional creatures and expect your reality to be God's reality. However, the truth is that you are about to go on an interdimensional search for a piece of yourself. Therefore, none of these questions are actually answerable to your satisfaction, and there lies the frustration of so many of you, looking for God in a 3D setting. There are several ways I can set the stage here. So within the message, we are going to feature a little creature. It's going to be an ant, and this ant has been given a task. All of the other ants want this ant to go and find the face of God, and intuitively they know that the face of God is in a place. So the ant goes and begins its journey. It finds itself on a giant painting, one that is as large as a wall. Indeed, the painting is the face of God, and it's beautiful. The colors are vibrant, the face is joyful. It's so real you could almost climb into it. But the ant has no idea of any of it. All the ant knows that goes from footstep to footstep is that there's a lot of color at its feet. And no matter how much the ant journeys on the picture, the ant has no idea what the face of God looks like. The ant is too small to see the overview and will continue to perceive only the pieces of the puzzle. So it goes back and reports to the other ants. Well, I walked and I walked. I touched the face of God, but it's just a color. But if you walk long enough, the color changes and it's another color. Therefore, the reality of the face of God to these ants is that it is a constant changing color. There's no way for the ant to see the large picture, is there? And humanity is similar, for humanity encompasses God as part of a three-dimensional scene of humanity, and it makes assumptions. Here is an important one. God is not in your time frame. Cryan, really? We know better than that. We know that God is timeless. We know that you've been teaching for years. So I say to you, then why don't you act like you understand it? For when you ask for something, you're so disappointed when it does not happen in your time frame. Many of you tap your foot, waiting for the delivery of the package that you ordered from God. You think God's clock is your clock, don't you? But it is not. So if it is not, what are you going to do with this knowledge? How will you ever make sense of it? We'll talk of that tomorrow. You even think God looks like you. We have said this before. Humans have painted the picture of God as a human. Angels are the most sacred beings imaginable who come and go in their miraculous interdimensional form. Yet you paint them in 2D. You give them skin and wings, give them a name and say, hey, this is an angel and looks like God. No, it doesn't. It looks like you. Then there are light workers who say, well, we know better than that. We know that God doesn't look like human beings do. Oh, really? Then show me the painting of what you think God looks like. There are very few because you cannot paint an interdimensional being. You think God is linear. The way you treat the whole process of the system, you say, I am sick. I go to a place where I'll be healed. I will get it, then I will leave. Oh, how linear of you. Do you not understand that you must swim in the energy with spirit? Do you not understand that instead of that linearness, you must reach out and touch the face of God? What about this? I have within myself the healing that I might need if I get sick. It will restore my sickness before I manifest it, so therefore I will never get sick. So you might say, what? That doesn't make any sense. Help us with this, Cryan. Well, indeed, I'll do my best. But you've got to throw away the idea that God is like you, living in 3D like you. Your reality is not God's reality. Where is God? Here you sit and ask, where is God? I have the answer, and it's no. There's no place for God. It's an impossible question, and you say, well, there must be an answer to where is God. We've heard that God resides in heaven. There are streets paved with gold, and that there are mansions there. Or perhaps you think esoterically that God lives in what you call the great central sun. Well, none of these things would be correct, for the first one is simply a replication of a 3D city idea of yours. The second expression, the great central sun, is a metaphor for a place. It's a metaphor for the center of every single atom that exists. God is not in a place, since the concept of a place cannot exist in a quantum state. Here's another example of the absence of where. Physics on your planet will go out and they will try to contact the dead. For the human brain says, these humans are gone. This is because in linear time, the soul's energy has ceased to exist. Humans believe that the soul energy has gone somewhere to a place. Therefore, the psychic, using their three-dimensional perception, goes to that place and they bring in the soul's energy of the departed one. They get a message and bring it back, and everyone is excited and impressed. Let me tell you what has really happened. The departed didn't go anywhere. For the soul energy is now in an interdimensional space where there is no past or future. There's no time on the other side of the veil. How can you have a past when there is no time? We have discussed before that every soul energy on this planet leaves a residual on Earth. It gets more complicated, and I'll tell you about this in a moment. But think for a moment, your lifetime right now is being imprinted onto the crystalline grid of the planet forever. Forever. It has to be that way, for the vibration of the earth is the culmination, the sum of all the entities upon it. When your physical body leaves, your departure does not diminish the crystalline grid, for the energy that you have today is imprinted and it stays there. When the psychic goes out to contact the one who's departed, they're simply talking to the residual in the grid. They're not talking to the departed soul somewhere else. Instead, they're talking to the soul energy that remained here. But because the psychic is based in 3D, the psychic says, yes, but I went somewhere else. The concept of the future or the past does not exist on the other side of the veil. Even the expression, other side of the veil, is incorrect. Do you know where you go when you meditate? You touched the sacred lattice that is always present. You journey into the center of atomic structure. You become in a quantum state with the universe and you touch the face of God. This is advanced information, for it tries the very fabric of your logic. Then there are those who say God is in charge, not understanding at all how the system works. These are the ones who say God is in charge of everything that goes on the planet, again, not understanding the system. Let me ask you something. Does it really look like God is in charge of anything? For most humans, the system of spirituality must have a hierarchy of power, and God must be at the top. However, the real system is this. God is in charge of nothing. Instead, it's the human beings who are making the difference, who find God in themselves, and who awaken with light, who let this God light show through them. Therefore, it is the human being who is in charge of this planet. The more of you open this door and understand the system, the more light on this planet there will be. There is dimensional confusion everywhere. You'll ask for prophecy, and the prophet will travel to the other side of the veil to see that the future holds for Earth. And what he sees is chaos. Things are always changing to 3D eyes who look into the interdimensional void. There is no three-dimensional perception logic there, and it looks like nonsense. Yet the prophet has to make some sense of it, doesn't he? So let us add this part of the puzzle for the ant. Suddenly the ant is on the giant picture again. Only the face of God keeps changing. Then the ant comes back and tells the other ants, "It's even more confusing than I thought. I was sitting there minding my own business, and the colors then started to change beneath my feet." Well, the other ants don't understand that. Now let's add another dimensionality to this face of God painting. Let us make it a three-dimensional painting, not a two-dimensional painting. Suddenly, the ant is now climbing hills of color that are always changing. The ant says this face of God is very confusing, for now there are mountains of changing color, but still no face of God. The problem is the same as I have discussed before. When you go to an interdimensional state, there is nothing you will observe that looks like what you want to see, or have been trained to see in your life's experience. Therefore, there is no logic or clear perception. So you make decisions in 3 dimensions based upon what your life experience is, but none of those decisions are accurate, for they only reflect your reality, not God's. In that interdimensional state is the future of the planet, represented by every possible potential that exists. Imagine the chaos, the seeming chaos of future potentials created by the decisions of every human being on the planet. Everything you might do represented in one place. Yet it's not a place. I told you this would be advanced. What I'm doing is preparing you to understand how the system works with you and the great beauty of it. Oh, it's beautiful, you see. It's only chaos to you. It's beautiful with lovely strands of order for us. And I haven't even begun to get to the confusing part yet. Oh, I guess I ought to tell you. Who are you? Well, a piece of you exists in 3 dimensions, and you call it a human. That's a piece of you. But that's not all of you, just the part you think is you. For this piece is perceived as whole and complete by you in 3D. This is the piece that wakes up in the morning and looks in the mirror and sees that they're another day older. This is the piece that's always searching for God on the painting like the ant, but never seen the big picture, the big issue. Let me tell you a little about who you are, and more about this in the channeling to come. When you come into this planet, there is an energy deposited into the Akashic record. There is a setup that begins with the crystalline grid so that everything you do becomes part of Gaia. There is also a wonderful part of you that you have called the higher self. This is the spiritual parent of your soul. So already I've described 3 parts, yet you're only aware of one, the one in the mirror. Oh, it even gets more complicated than that. Every time you come into this planet featuring another physical expression, you have the same higher self soul parent. Let me explain. Your higher self knows all about you, who you've been, your planetary 3D history. Because this part of you was there, all of them, Oh, it gets even more complicated. In this interdimensional system of potentials, there are pieces and parts of you also on the other side of the veil helping you. There has to be. Think about it. This explains the system of co-creation. How can you co-create on this planet when there's only one piece of you? Don't you understand, if you're part of the engine of the way things work, you have to be many parts of the engine of reality. You cannot be one part asking the other parts to help you. You see, that's an old doctrine and wouldn't co-create anything. You are multiple energies working together to create synchronicity. Now let's apply that to the ant again. The ant goes onto the picture. The colors are changing. The topography continues to change, and the ant is frustrated. He's given up now, for he's seen too much for it to make sense. He's met himself. He now says, not only is this face of God unusual, changing and moving, but everywhere I've gone, I met myself. Somehow I'm on the face of God. Indeed, that's the system. Now, there really is some order in this, but I'm not done giving you the confusing parts. Not only are there pieces and parts of you in this interdimensional soup of chaos, but then there is the issues of who you used to be on Earth. What you call the Akashic Records is the record of your past lives. It's in 3D, just like you are. I have Lemurians here, and they understand what I'm speaking of. How many times have you been on the Earth, Lemurian? Shaman, and you find yourself sitting in the chair as a healer today. So interested are you in the energy of the healing of the lattice. And how many times on Earth do you think it took you to get to that place? 50 times? 100 times more? And if I could introduce you to who you used to be, how would you feel? And which one of the yours that you think was past do you wish to be? Well, I have more confusing news. Something we have been teaching now for some years. There is no thing such as a past life. Instead, they are now lives. For I just told you that all those expressions go into the crystalline grid, did I not? That means that when you arrive on this planet, whoever you are, in an interdimensional state, all of those lives are active on the grid. And the way the system works is that they all flow right into your DNA when you get here. Inside you is a very creature that you can claim to have been. It's what makes you so different from one another. Blessed is the human being who allows his heart to open and the Akash to spill out, and for him to see the work these lives have done together with the current one. He sees the old souls in the lineage of their past. He sees soulmates because their imprint is here forever. The system is beautiful, but to you it looks confusing. Tomorrow we're going to tell you how to make sense of this. Therefore, these two channelings should be listened to as a pair. You are magnificent on this planet. I've just given you information that every single time you come here, you leave something behind. I told you that there's multiple parts of you on the other side of the veil you call interdimensionality. Some of you keenly feel it and you say, well, these other parts of me are my guides while I'm here. And you are right. Some of you are very tuned into this. You say, the angels are with me. Right again, but I have news for you. You are with you. That's why contact with Spirit feels so good, you understand? It's a reunion of sorts if you let it be. Yet there would be those who say, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of me with me. I want something bigger. I want someone very important and grand with me. Oh, it is someone important. Piece of God that you are, eternal being that you are, advanced creature of God that you are. This energy demands that you understand many of these confusing things about your multiple, magnificent being. Gone are those innocent days where you come into a building like this and hope God does something for you. Oh no, it is far better than that. Now you come into a building and you find your own mastery, realizing who the family is, who the manifester really is. And you start the training of self-realization. The system exists for you, and it is beautiful, filled with songs. Song is the only word I can use. When you enjoy music on this earth, it often fills your heart. You think it's just here on the side, don't you? Well, think again. Oh, I've got music for you. And when you see me again, the tunes will play, the choirs will sing, and you will burst forth in light singing about the face of God, which you are a part of. You won't be able to help it, you know. You will sing with joy and be filled with joy. The love of God is not filled with rules. That's the message of Cryon. The love of God is filled with unity and compassion. I am Cryon, and I have spoken through my partner for 18 years, and I have never, ever told any human that I am the only source that they should listen to. For there are pieces of God everywhere. There are those who are coming through in human channels, so many places with profound information, male and female. Put the information together, unify the messages, and receive larger messages. Don't put walls around each other saying, don't go see the other one. Listen, if any channeler ever tells you that, walk away. For that is not God speaking. God is you, family, and it's open to everyone, and you need each other in this way. This has always been my message, and it will always be. It would be a good time for a healing, wouldn't it? So who is it that's going to start understanding who they are? What if you would be the one to heal yourself tonight? Is that too grand? Would you allow it? Do you really have to ask God for it? Does it make you feel better to ask Cryon for it? Because I don't have your healing. I have the answer, but I don't have the healing. Understand? Can you go inside and start to see your majesty? It's too hard, Cryon, just too hard. I would rather come to a place and sit there and be healed by a higher power. Well, indeed you would. This is the answer, which humanity does not understand. Healing is part of the system of God that you as humans create. This sacred system is part of you and is ready to give you the healing that you came for. So claim your mastery. Understand that you are a part of this earth and this system. All I can do is invite you to see the light. I cannot personally touch your heart. I cannot make your brain think a way that is different, that you wish it to think. It's a safe place here, you know. Yes, there are angels here, beautiful ones. They don't have skin and wings like you. And they have names that are sung in light. They contain pieces and parts of what you call your lineage. Some of them represent those of you who have loved and lost on this planet. They are here. Do you really doubt that? I invite you to smell them. You know what they are like since you've spent years with them. So you know their essence. Let their individual essences waft over you. Listen to the emotion of their hearts with yours. For if it is true what I told you today, then you walk with them every day in an interdimensional space. Do you believe? Let them look at you now and say, well done, my child. We are proud of you. We are. We would not say these things if they were not so. Is it too grand for you? Well, there's more, and it continues tomorrow. And so it is.
Looks like you forgot, once again, how powerful you are.